Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Biology King. And in this session, we are going to talk about ultrastructure of cell. Define prokaryote. A prokaryote is a simple cell that lacks a nucleus and all membrane-bound organelles. Bacteria are examples of prokaryotic cells. Label the following diagram of a prokaryotic cell. Part 1 is a plasmid. Part 2 is a glycocalyx or a slime capsule. Part 3, that is a cell membrane. Part 4 is a nucleoid. Part 5, it is a cell wall. Part 6, that is a ribosome. And part 7, it is a flagellum. Distinguish between the genophore and the plasmid. The genophore is a circular DNA molecule that contains the genetic material. And this one is found in bacteria. A plasmid, these are additional autonomous DNA molecules that can be transferred via bacterial conjugation. Outline the role of pili. Attachment pili, these ones allow bacteria to adhere to the surfaces. The sex pili, they allow the bacteria to exchange genetic information, that is the plasmids, via bacterial conjugation. State the composition of the bacterial cell wall. The bacterial cell wall is composed of peptidoglycan. Describe how bacterial cells divide. The bacterial cell divide by binary fission, and this is a type of asexual reproduction. The circular DNA molecules are coupled and then is anchored to the plasma membrane. The DNA loops are drawn apart as the cell elongates before dividing, what we call cytokinesis, and it forms two crowns. Label the following diagram of an animal cell. Number 1, that is a nucleus. Number 2, it is a nucleolus. Number 3, those are rough endoplasmic reticulum. Number 4, they are smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Number 5, it's a mitochondria. Number 6, those are lysosomes, or sometimes we call them peroxisomes. Number 7, Those are Golgi bodies. And number 8, that is the plasma membrane. Number 9, they are ribosomes. And then number 10, that is the cytosol, or what we call the cytoskeleton. They are not cytoplasm, but they are cytoskeleton or cytosols. Explain how the compartmentalization of eukaryotic cells allows for greater complexity. 1. Eukaryotic cells contain subcellular structures called organelles, those little organs. Now, these membrane-bound compartments, they perform specialized function that provide eukaryotic cells with greater levels of functional complexity. State the role of the nucleus. The nucleus is a double-membraned structure which has got pores, and it stores DNA. It is also the site of transcription, that is RNA synthesis. State the role of the nucleolus. The nucleolus is a region within the nucleus where ribosomes are assembled. State the role of the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is a membrane network that transports materials between organelles, that is via vesicles. State the role of the Golgi Apparatus. Sometimes we call them Golgi bodies. The Golgi Apparatus is involved in sorting, storing, modification, and export of secretory products from the cell. State the role of the ribosomes. Ribosomes, these are responsible for protein synthesis, or what we call translation. They can be found freely within the cytosol or may be embedded on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. State the role of the mitochondria. The mitochondria, these ones are responsible for aerobic respiration, which results in ATP synthesis via oxygen, in the availability of oxygen. State the role of the lysosome. The lysosome is responsible for the breakdown of macromolecules, that is the digestion of toxic metabolites which occur within the peroxisomes or the lysosomes. Distinguish between the structure and functions of smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is embedded with ribosomes and is therefore responsible for the transport of proteins. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is not embedded with ribosomes and is involved in the transport and the synthesis of carbohydrates and lipids. The following micrograph of a plant cell. 1 is a nucleus, 2 is a nucleolus, 3, those are chloroplasts, 4, it is a large central vacuole, and 5, that is a cell wall, 6, that one is a mitochondria. Outline 5 differences between animals and plant cells. 1. The plant cells may have chloroplasts. Animal cells do not. 2. Plant cells have cell walls and animal cells do not. 3. Plant cells have large central vacuole, whereas animal cells have small temporary vacuoles. Still, we are outlining the differences between animal cells and plant cells. Animal cells have cholesterol in their plasma membranes, whereas plant cells do not. Plant cells, they store excess glucose as starch, whereas animal cells, they store excess glucose as glycogen. State the composition of a plant cell wall. The cell wall of a plant is composed of cellulose. Identify the function of chloroplasts and identify where it is found in the plant tissue. Chloroplasts, they are organelles responsible for photosynthesis. They contain the pigment chlorophyll. Chloroplasts are found in photosynthetic tissues, that is, in the palisade mesophyll of the leaf. That's where they are found. Identify the function of chloroplast and still identify where they are found in the plant tissue. Now, chloroplasts are not found in all plant tissues. They are absent from the root cells. Compare prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells. We want to compare the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now, the prokaryotic cells, they have DNA is naked. Their DNA is naked. The eukaryotic cells, their DNA is bound to histone proteins. Prokaryotic cells, DNA molecule, are circular. Eukaryotic DNA molecules are linear. Prokaryotic cells' DNA is freely floating in the cytosol, whereas the eukaryotic DNA is contained within the nucleus. Compare still prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now, prokaryotic, they do not have membrane-bound organelles, okay? Eukaryotes have got membrane-bound organelles. Prokaryotes are sometimes referred to as 70S, that is their size. The ribosomes are 70S in size. Eukaryotes, their ribosomes are 80S in size. We are still comparing the prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells, they reproduce via binary fission, whereas eukaryotic cell may reproduce via numerous methods: asexual, mitotic, and meiosis. Prokaryotic cells, reproduction is asexual, cell haploids, whereas eukaryotic reproduction may be sexual or asexual. We are still comparing the eukaryotics and prokaryotics. Prokaryotic cells are smaller, typically from 1 to 5 micrometers, whereas eukaryotic cells, these ones are larger, typically around 10 to 100 micrometers. Hello friends, thank you very much for participating in Biology King. I encourage you to subscribe.